it's Angelique with Paint with Angelique from Las Vegas. And look what we're painting. Isn't this super cute? It's called Crazy Rudolph because he looks pretty crazy, doesn't he? With the crazy eyes and everything and the red nose. I just love this one. It's holiday season. So let's get into it. First, I want to go over your tools. You're going to need everything that came in your kit, which is a, detail brush. Looks like this with a pointy tip. And a flat tip brush. That one looks square. And the sponge brush. Looks like a sponge. And this highly absorbent blue paper towel. We're going to use this blue paper towel when we switch colors. We got to switch our brush around and wipe it off on the paper towel. And you have this cool apron to protect your clothes. And if you open it up, it actually totally goes over your head. You have to maybe put a little bit of water on your fingertips. It fully opens up. I've seen so many different ways people wear the apron. You should have a contest. Whoever gets the apron on the fastest should win like a candy cane or something, or some chocolates. And you put that over your head. You put this over your head. I'm talking way too fast. I need to slow down. Okay, so that's how the apron works. We are painting with acrylic paints like we always do. Acrylic paints wash very easily off of your skin, not so easily off of your clothes, okay? So make sure you wear the apron. If you like your lovely holiday outfit that you have on, make sure you wear the apron. Because like I said, if you get it on your clothes, it's a little harder, maybe a little soap and water to get it out, okay? Then you have all your paints. So you have all your paints. You want to take the tape off your paints and anything else and open all the lids up and get ready to get into it, okay? You will also need a cup of water, halfway full, okay? Half full of water, okay? So your canvases are pre-traced for you, and this is how it works. I take you 90% through the painting, through the painting, 90%, and then I leave you alone to finish it on your own, okay? This one's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. We don't have any shading or anything like that. This is Paint Party 101. I always say my paint parties are really cool. Paint with Angelique. Remember that from Las Vegas. Because when you paint with me, the canvases are always pre-traced. There's a couple of them that aren't pre-traced because they're easy scenes. But 99% of my canvases are pre-traced for you. Okay? Okay, so this one, what we always do is we get the main colors down, then we do the details. So we're going to do the background first, which is green. Then we're going to paint Rudolph brown. And then we're going to fill in all the details. Okay? So, let's get into it. Voila! Ooh, I just dropped it. There's no editing in my video, so there's no telling what might happen. Okay? So, you also have a reference photo. And that's for all the people that are going to want to make it exactly like it looks. I don't have my reference photo. But it's the little tiny picture of the reindeer there. And the reason why I do that, because some people are going to be obsessed with creating it just like mine. But that's not the object. In my paint parties, I encourage you to paint it any way you want. This is art. Art is a reflection of who you are in the moment. I can't even paint the picture the same. I can't, nor do I want to. That is not my purpose here today. My purpose here today is to take you 90% through the painting, give you some of the guidelines so that you can finish it yourself, okay? So, the first thing that we're going to do, I'm going to take that cup of water, I'm going to dunk in here, and by the way, if I'm going too fast, please just put it on pause and wait for everybody to catch up. Don't come for me in the comments, okay? It's a video. It ain't a live thing. So put it on pause, wait for everybody to get their cup of water. If I'm going too fast, which I'm going to try not to, but you got to keep in mind, I got to keep these videos I try to keep them 15 minutes or 30 minutes at the most, because then it's just too much. So I would encourage you to even watch the video first and then paint, so you kind of get an idea of where we're going with all this, okay? So I just dunked my brush in the water, and what I'm doing is I'm putting a light coat of water on my canvas. And yours probably isn't going to smear as much as mine, because mine is just done with pencil. Yours is done with something a little bit more than just pencil, okay? So I'm putting a light coat of water on here, and that's so the first coat of paint doesn't get sucked into the canvas. So we're priming it. In the paint party world, we prime with water. In the art world, we prime with a coat of paint, maybe a white coat of paint or something, or whatever your under paint is going to be. So you would paint the whole canvas maybe with gesso. I'm sorry, that is another material that artists use to prime the canvas so the first coat doesn't just get sucked into the canvas. So that's the purpose of putting the water down, okay? So we're going to put some water down. Water, water, water. You can just go like this. I'm being careful because mine is pencil. Yours is not. Okay? And then I'm going to take this brush, and between this brush and this brush, I'm going to paint the background, okay? And why I say it's these two, because there's some little corners there that might be hard to get in with the sponge brush. Now, you don't want the canvas dripping wet. If it's dripping wet, you're going to take that blue paper towel, kind of dab it like that. And we don't want a whole bunch of water in this brush, so in the sponge brush. So I'm going to squeeze my sponge brush. And then I'm going to go into my green paint. Very lightly on the tip. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to outline the reindeer so I can paint in the background, right? I'm going right on top of the trace lines so that I can paint the background in. And if at any moment that you're confused, look at what I'm doing, or look at your neighbor and see if they got it, or put me on pause and wait for everybody to catch up. But we're painting in the background, so I'm outlining everything. I'm outlining the antlers, and you know they're antlers, so it doesn't have to be super perfect. You can change the shape of the antlers, right? Because they're like the reindeer's fingerprints. No two are the same. So you guys should have a contest and see if you can name like all the reindeer. I'm not even going to try that. It's been way too long. My kids are so grown, I can't remember all that cutesy stuff. But I know there's Dancer and Prancer. I don't know. You should play it. You should Google it. Make it a contest. Win money. Okay. Okay, so I'm filling in, outlining, 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 outlining. Okay? And now I'm going to, you can even outline these, or you could just paint around them. I'm going to outline them. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint in the background. I'm going to play a little music, nondescript music, because on YouTube they will tag my video and it will come down. So I have to play kind of funky music. You might have fun, Christmassy music. You might want to play that. But anyway, I'm going to paint in the background, okay? Paint in the background. Okay. So there's my green background. I got a little messy up here. I'm gonna have to fix that later because I covered up one of the little floating uh, uh, ornaments there. But I'm okay with that. And if you see there's some white spots, I'm using that flat tip brush. And I'm getting in the tight spots that are kind of hard to get with that sponge brush, okay? So that's why I said you're going to use both brushes. This is the square tip one, not the detail one. The detail one is pointy, okay? This canvas I'm using is probably twice as big than the one that you're using. So it might look like I'm painting fast, but I have twice the area to cover than you do, okay? So I'm getting real close in. I don't want any white gaps between the reindeer and the different elements of the painting and the background. So I want to make sure that I make it nice and tight. Now you see that the background looks kind of streaky, right? Acrylic paints become more opaque, meaning no light coming through, and darker and more vibrant as you apply coats. So you need to let this dry before you apply another coat. Don't try to fix it right now. If you don't like the way it looks, you got to wait, okay? Let it dry a little bit, put another coat on there, and it's going to give it a more opaque, clean finish without these streaks in it, okay? So I'm taking that flat tip brush and I'm going around the antlers, tightening up all those spots a little bit better. And as we paint in, we'll be able to close some of those gaps on the white paint as well, okay? You'll understand what I'm talking about as we go on. Okay, so the next step that we're going to do is we're going to paint, what are we going to do next? We're going to paint the brown part, okay? And there's a lot of brown. We're going to do the antlers, the dark brown part, okay? So I'm swishing around my brush in the water. It's green. It doesn't matter how yucky this water gets, as long as you wipe it off on the paper towel well. You can rest that sponge brush in your tray. We're not going to use it anymore, I don't think. So I'm going to go into the brown paint. I swished the brush around. I wiped it off on my brown paper towel. I'm going into the brown paint. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to outline my antlers, and I'm going to then paint them in brown. And I'm going to outline his face, and this is for the dark brown. Okay? So I'm going to outline these antlers. And we're just going to get all the colors down first, and then we're going to do the details later. Okay? We just want to get all the paint down on the canvas, all the right colors in the right places. And if you want to change, yours any way you want, change it. It's art. Okay? I don't know what colors you might change it to, but maybe you want his antlers to be black and his face to be brown. I don't know. So I'm outlining. If you get confused, use your reference photo as to what's supposed to be brown and what's light brown. I'm looking at the actual painting. So it's brown, dark brown, and it's light brown in his ears, and it's light brown on his face there. So I'm going to outline the eyes. And then this is light brown, but his neck is dark brown. His neck is dark brown. And then his little arms there are also dark brown. Dark, dark, dark. Dark. Okay, now my picture is really big, so I'm going to switch to a bigger paintbrush because I got more area to cover, and it would take me like way long with this little one. So I'm going to switch to a bigger one. I'm going to play some more music while you complete everything that is brown, okay? If your paint gets a little sticky, put a little water on the brush. Okay. Hey, I start to like this music after a while. Okay, all my brown is done. All my dark brown is done. Again, if you're not done, just put it on pause, okay? Now, the next color I'm going to do is, put me on pause if everybody's not done. And the next color I'm going to do is light brown, okay? For those of you who are ready to move forward, our next color is light brown. Now, you might already have a little bit of light brown in your kit. It's kind of like a peachy brown kind of color. It's kind of a cool color. I really like it. If you do not have that color, you're going to mix a little bit of white and a little bit of brown in together for your painting. So I'm just going to mix a little bit of white and brown, but you probably have that color, that light brown color, okay? So if you have light brown, you're going to use that. If you don't have light brown, you're going to mix a little bit of white and a little bit of brown, and you're going to make your own. And that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to make my own. All right? But again, you might have this color in your kit, and mine's going to look a little different because that's kind of a cool color, light brown. I really like that color. But if it's not in your kit, you're going to make your own by mixing a little bit of brown in with your white paint, okay? So here we go, putting that light brown on there. And I'm trying to fill in the white gaps, like the whiteness between the background, like the green and the brown. I'm kind of placing that paint so that there are no gaps. So you might have to take your artist's eye and kind of even out his cheeks, I guess they are, if you make them a little bit bigger. So I made mine a little bit bigger on this side, so I'd have to use my artist's eye, which is kind of hard because I'm painting sideways right now. But I just want you to know that you should take your time. Like, these tracings are just a sketch. They're not precise. They're hand sketched. So you have to use your creativity and the artist within to bring this painting together. Okay? It's not all me. I just sketch it. So there is a skill set involved in this, okay? So there's my light brown there, and again, yours is going to look a little bit different because you have that nice kind of peachy brown maybe in your kit. Maybe you don't. If you don't have a different brown, you're going to make your own brown just like this, fill in his ears. And then I'm going to look at my reference photo and see if I missed anything. Oh, his chest right there. And the bottom half of his mouth, right? And you could have traced it first before you painted it in. But I'm just painting it in, okay? And then his chest, and again, my paint's getting a little sticky because I mixed it in the tray. So I'm adding a little bit of water to it. And then I'm painting his chest, and again, you can outline first and paint in, which that's easier sometimes for people. Putting a little bit of water on my brush because kind of sticky. Okay. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to let that dry because we got a lot of details to put on there. Now, if you have that peachy color, it's going to look a little bit more different than this. But if you don't, he still looks cool, kind of like him. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go and fill in those gaps because I see a lot of white gaps around his ears. I don't like that. This would be a good time to put another coat of green around the reindeer if you want to do that. Or you could just fill in the gaps with that other paint, whatever paintbrush is comfortable for you, but probably this one, the one with the square tip on it, which I just misplaced mine. Oh, here it is. Nope, that's my detail brush. Let me grab another one. Hope that I don't knock everything over because that makes it fun. Okay. So, I don't know what I did with my flat tip one. I guess I dropped it somewhere. So, I'm looking for this one. That's what I'm painting with now. To fill the gaps in of the brown, okay? I got the dropsies today. I just dropped my other paintbrush. So, okay. I'm working. I'm tightening spots up. And maybe I'm going to put a whole nother coat of brown on there because, I mean, of green, because the green is dry now. So maybe a whole nother coat of green, and definitely filling in that white space. Okay, so I'm filling in the white space. Grabbing my big brush because I got a bigger canvas than you. And I'm filling in the background because I want another coat on there. Okay. Because of the lighting, it still looks a little streaky, but you can see if I turn the light. My purpose is that you get the idea that if you put another coat on there, that you can get rid of the streaks, but this light is really not proving my point, but but if you let it dry and you put another coat on, you'll see what I mean, okay? So, again, we need another coat of brown on there too. Just like we went over the green, you can go over the brown again and make it more opaque, get rid of those streaks and everything. And then the next color that we're going to go into is, what are we going to do? Let's see. I'm thinking that we need to do his collar next. So you're going to go into that fun Tiffany blue color, which I have to go grab mine because for some reason I didn't put it in my kit. And we're going to do his collar. And it looks like we have a blue, this ornament right here is blue, which I painted over mine. But I want you to be able to see it, so I'm going to go over it with white so you can see it. Because I painted over mine kind of messy. So yeah. So that ornament right there is going to be blue. And around his collar is blue. And look, I missed his neck too. You probably noticed that and were like, hey, she forgot the neck. There you go. All right, so blue on the collar. I'm going to grab mine real quick. Be right back. Don't look at my messy desk. So everybody looked at my messy desk, I'm sure. Okay, I'm back. I didn't knock over the canvas, so that's a good thing. We've been painting for 27 minutes already? Good grief. Okay. It's a long time. I think my usually it is an hour. 45 minutes to an hour. I don't know what I was thinking earlier when I said 15 minutes, because it's never 15 minutes. Okay, so I'm going to paint my collar. And check out your reference photo on this one, because I painted a little sloppy around it. because there's supposed to be white in some spaces, because it makes it look like it's actually wrapped around his neck, right? So if I totally fill that in, leave spaces for the yellow, right? Going around those circles. And where I painted over mine, I'm going to fill in white again so you can see where it is. So there should be a little bit of white on both sides, okay? After that blue right there, of course, I'm going to fill in that one ornament up there that's dangling around. And then I think we're done with the blue. Then I'm going to go into, I'm going to swish my brush around in the water. I'm going to wipe it off. And then I'm going to go in the yellow. So when you think about it, it's kind of just like coloring, but we're just using a paintbrush, right? You got to be careful around that green now, because if you get it in the green, if you get it in the blue, it's going to turn green. So you might want to wait for that to dry before you fill in the spikes. Look what I just did. I just made it blue. I don't want it blue. I want it yellow. So I'm going to wipe off. There are no mistakes in art. We can always fix anything. You can fix anything with a little bit of white paint. Let it dry. White paint's like your eraser. You put a little bit of white paint, let it dry, and then go over it with the color that you want. So I'm going to do that there. And then a little bit of yellow on the other side here for the other spiky collar. He has a spiky collar on. I need all that to dry because I'm making green down there and I don't want to do that. Do I have yellow anywhere else in the painting? I do. I have yellow on this ornament right here. So I'm going to paint that ornament in yellow. I think that's the only other place. And then on your painting too, you might have two little circles right here that aren't on mine. And I'm going to put them on there. If they're not on yours, you don't have to, but I'm going to take a little white paint and I'm going to make two circles there and I'm going to have it dry. And so I can put pink there because I kind of like those two little things there. Next color is red. So his nose is red, the mitten is red, and that ornament over there is red. This ornament right here is orange, and you don't have orange in your kit, and I'm sure you know how to make orange. A little bit of yellow and a little bit of red. I didn't think about it. All right, so I don't like how there's all this white space around my ornament here. So I am filling in that white space. And it looks kind of messy, but I'm going to fix it later. And go back, okay? So I'm painting fast. Your painting is going to be much neater, much more beautiful than this. Change the color of the ornaments if you want. I'm going to do his nose and do his hand. I'm going to do this ornament over here in red. And then I'm going to show you how to make pink and how to make orange, okay? So let's see here. Red for the nose. red down. How do I make orange? I'm just going to take the lid of my red and I'm going to put a little red in there. Well, it's a lot of red, but it was dry, so I put some wet red in there. And I'm going to take a little bit of yellow and I'm going to make orange. You can also mix it in your tray. You can also mix it right on the canvas. Put red and orange down. You want it to be brighter, add a little bit more yellow or a lot of yellow. Do it on your yellow lid and just add a little bit of do it on your yellow lid and just add a little bit of red. So I'm going to lighten my up a little bit by brighten that orange up by putting a little bit of yellow on top. So, all right. Play around with it just a little bit if you need to, till you get the color that you want, the intensity of orange that you want. All right, so black is what's left. I need to go over my little spikes. I'm gonna go over that yellow because that white should be dry now. And that blue's dry, so I don't have to worry about it turning green anymore. Okay, so, all right. There still is, I don't know what's going on right there around his collar. I don't know why I got so much white space around there, but I need to fix that. So I'm gonna put a little bit of green around here and tighten that area up just a little bit. I don't want any white space, remember, between his body and the green background. Okay, so he's coming together. You might not see it, but I see it. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to work the details, and then I'm going to leave you, because look, I'm at 90% of the painting. How do you make the pink if you chose to put those in there? A little bit of white and a little bit of red in your mixing tray. That's what I'm doing right now. Or you can use the lid, but I use the lid to make my orange. So I'm making pink right here in my tray here. My tray's pretty messy. I want you to see it. See, it's next to the black there, right there. So I took a little bit of white, a lot of white, and a little bit of red. I made pink. I got some blue on it just there. And I'm going to fill these in. Going to paint those in pink or whatever color you want. Like, you have a lot of different colors in your color palette, so you can make these two different colors if you want. So, again, my purpose is to take you 90% through the painting. Painting's looking kind of messy because I'm going kind of fast, and I'm painting sideways. So, my purpose is to give you the steps so that you can work on the painting and finish it on your own, okay? So, there's another part of this that I really didn't like. Okay, is that it? Is that what I was looking at? Okay, so the next step that we're going to do is all the details. So, take a look at your reference photo. There's a lot of details in there. How do you get the little swirlies in the background? A little bit of brown. I'm sorry, a little bit of green. A little bit of white. Mixed in with your green. Makes a lighter shade of this green. And then you can put those swirls in there. How do you do the swirls? You could get a pencil and pencil them out if you want. Or you could just start with confidence. Mix that light green color. I'm going to do it mine in white so you can really see it. And start from the middle and kind of sketch going outward. Just sketch going outward till you get that. Now you can put a little bit of water in it and do the full-on swirl if you're feeling confident. But if you're not feeling confident, I'm doing mine in white because I want you to see how it works. And I'm using the detail brush. You can just go right around like that and do your swirl. This is done with the detail brush. You can also do little dots like that for the twinkles in the background on your reference photo. Take a look at that. But that's actually light green. I just did it in white because I really wanted you to see it. Also, a little freckles, a little hair follicles on his nose. Also done with the detail brush, just a few little dots here and there. That's dry now, so that's why it's so easy to do that now. And I'm going to save the white paint for last. I just used the white right there to show you what a swirl looks like. I want to show you now how to do all the details. I mean, how to do the black. And I think I've explained all the details. I showed you how to do the swirls. I showed you how to do the little snow flakes in the background with the little dots. Now I want to show you how to do some outlining, his eyes and his teeth area. Okay, so I am using the detail brush again. I swished it around in my water. I wiped it off on my paper towel. And then I'm going to do some outlining. And it takes a long time, okay? So take your time, take that detail brush, and you could do a hard line if you want, or you could just lightly go around everything here and there and define the antlers just a little bit. If you're confused, take a look at that reference photo. You see like the antlers. You might have to get a pencil. You could just trust yourself to do a straight line going down like that. And to shape the ornament a little bit better, right? The really tricky part is his eyeballs. You might actually have to take the canvas and lay it down flat so you could really get the circular eyeball right, because it really does need to be a circle. And you're going to have to really take your time and make it a circle. Now, what if you don't get it? You're going to wait for it to dry, and then you're going to paint that background in white, and you'll be able to shape his eyeballs better. And I'm actually going to show you that because I think it's really important that his eyeballs are straight, okay? I'm still using black paint and kind of outlining them a little bit better. And again, I'm not doing a hard line everywhere. I'm just doing, well, his nose is pretty well defined, right? And again, you might have to take it up and lay it flat to really get his nose right. Your trace might already have the nostrils already in it. And if they do, you want to paint over it the right way. Or you're just going to look at your reference photo and kind of figure it out for yourself. Doesn't matter if it's perfect, right? It's kind of a crazy thing anyway. It's Crazy Rudolph. So I'm putting that hard line. There is kind of a hard line around his head. Definitely a hard line around his eyes. And I want to get this black in there before I start messing around with the white, okay? So I'm going to go around his eyes really good. Again, you might have to lay it flat. His eyes are his personality, really, so the windows to his soul. So you have to really make sure you get that part right, okay? Or try to get that part right. I don't want to stress you out. I got a little black in his nose, so I want to clean it up there. Again, you can see that red's not standing out like probably how you want it to. And with acrylic paint, you got to let it dry a little bit first and then apply a second coat, okay? So I'm trying to think of like an area that we did. I'm going to go over his mitten here with another coat of red. And you can see how now it's much more opaque. No light coming through. You can't see the canvas. And then I'm going to try to be careful with his nose because that black paint might smear, but I want to be able to show you guys if you put a second coat on how it really stands out a little bit better. Okay? Now what about his eyes? If you don't like the way around his eyes, see how it's not quite even? You're going to swish your brush in the water, and I know your water looks yucky, but it doesn't matter. Wipe it off on the paper towel, go into your white paint, and then you can clean up those lines just by smoothing it out with the white paint. But you have to wait for those for the you have to wait for the black paint to dry or you'll get gray. See how that's gray in there? Because I didn't wait for it to dry. So wait for it to dry, and then you can kind of shape his eye and even his eyeball any way you want. And I got too much, it's not dry for me, so I want to wait a little while and make sure that it's dry before I try to clean it up. So all the little details I think I've explained to you, the snow, how to make the swirl, how to put the dots, how to put those little hair follicles on his face, those lines in his ears, if they're not drawn for you already, you're just going to take the dark brown and put a couple brush strokes in his ears. I think it's also done with a little tiny bit of black. His little snout here or his cheeks need to be a little bit better defined. I'm just using a tiny, tiny bit of black paint on my paintbrush to finish doing that outlining that I was showing you earlier. Little tiny bit. So, little tiny bit, outlining, outlining. Takes a while, takes a while. I did paint the sides of my canvas. I don't think I told you that. So if your sides aren't painted, you want to paint those green. See how the outlining really makes them come to life? Really makes them come to life. And it takes a light finger, a light touch. Okay, and there's a lot to go around with the black. Getting the ornaments right. Again, put me on pause, have everybody catch up. Use your artist's eye to make the ornaments even, right? My ornament here that I drew in, I didn't quite put all the details on there, so I'm going to put a few little details on there. Around the mitten here, I'm going to paint in the inside of his mouth here. I'm doing all this with the detail brush, by the way. And I'm going to do his teeth. Pretty important area there. Going to outline that a little bit with black. I'm looking at the reference photo. It's a little bit of black and it's a little bit of dark brown too. So I'm using a little bit of dark brown. There's definitely an outline going on there. A little bit of black, a little bit of dark brown. Use your artist within to make sure it makes sense, that it's somewhat even. I like this crazy reindeer. I painted this crazy reindeer, crazy Rudolph, when I was feeling crazy one day. It was actually on my, because somebody was really getting on my nerves. Well, I was going through a rough time, and you know art is therapeutic, right? So when I was painting this, I painted it on my front door, and it really made me feel happy. So I hope it makes you feel happy too. He's so funny when I look at him. So I wanted you to see what it looks like when you let this dry. You could take a blow dryer. You could fan it with your mixing tray. But I need to clean that up because I want you to see what it looks like. I have quite a bit of white on the flat tip brush. I changed brushes so I could clean this up for you guys and show you how it's still kind of wet. So maybe this one's drier. I can show you how to clean up the eye. Yeah, this one's dry. So you can see I can make the line thinner by using the white paint. I can clean up my eyeball, make it more round by using the white paint, because the white paint's like an eraser. This one is still kind of wet, so I gotta wait for that to dry because I want it to be really white. I don't want it to be gray in there, okay? But you can kind of get an idea as I cleaned up that one. I'm gonna get my detail brush. I did that with the flat tip brush. I'm gonna use my detail brush and I'm going to clean up his eye just a little bit more so you could see, really see. And then if you want more black or it's still not quite straight, you just got to work with it. It's a journey, right? It's not a race. It's a journey. I'm going to go into my black paint now. because I really want you to see how it takes a while. See how close I am to the canvas too, because I can't really see and I want to make sure to get the eye right. Okay, so just take your time, work with the eye, work with the red paint, maybe another coat. This painting is nowhere near done. Nowhere near done. It's messy because I'm painting sideways and I'm doing the tutorial and I'm going fast. You're going to take your time. Right now you would clean it up a little bit, but the very last color that you're going to use is white. So we painted the background green, right? Then we did the brown, then we did the light brown, then we did his collar, then we did the yellow, then we did the red, then I showed you how to make the swirls in the background, right? And we made some pink up there too, and we put that in there. Then we're going to use the white, and the white was for the little snowflakes in the background. And then if you really look closely, there's like a little white sweep right here, a little reflection point on the ornament. And watch my, this I'm using a detail brush. I am tapping lightly outside of his little mitten cuff there. And it kind of creates a little textured effect. It had a little black on there still, so it's coming out gray. So I had to wash my brush off a little bit. White all around there. Filling it in, and white all around there. Okay? Look at Crazy Rudolph. I love him. He's so cute. So get all the colors down. Work out all the details. I kind of want to get this eye right before I go here. It's kind of, acrylic paints dry so fast. I think I took you 95% through this painting, not 90. Because I just start getting carried away because I just love it so much. I hope you're playing some Christmas music and kiddos are drinking their cocoa and adults are drinking their adult drinks. And you enjoyed painting Crazy Rudolph. Again, this is not the finished product. You want to make sure you tighten all those lines up, put another coat of paint on there. Don't forget to sign and date Crazy Rudolph so you can remember what a wonderful time you had with your families and your family and friends this holiday season. What are we? 2022, Christmas time. It's holiday time. Hope you guys have fun. It's officially time to be thankful and grateful for everything you have. I'm grateful for you. Thank you. Thank you for painting with me. Thank you for purchasing a paint kit. I'm based in Las Vegas, but I ship kits all over the country. You can access me through Facebook, Paint with Angelique, Instagram, Paint_with_Angelique. On YouTube, Paint with Angelique. I think it's Paint with Angelique or Angelique Paints on YouTube. Angelique Paints. All those platforms you can get to me through my email. Order a kit, watch my videos, and draw the pictures. You don't even have to buy the kit. My mission is just to spread my joy and love of art with you. And if it's your first time, I hope you enjoyed it. And if you're a return painter, I just want to thank you so much. You all enjoy your day or evening. Enjoy your Christmas. Merry Christmas. I'm sending you much joy and love throughout this holiday season. Thanks again. Paint with Angelique, y'all. Bye-bye.